Hello and welcome to the Listening and Learning About Leadership podcast. I'm your host, Dhretii, and I have started this podcast to provide people with resources about leadership from the perspective of a 12-year-old. When I was getting into leadership, I wasn't able to find many resources, and I'm creating this podcast because I want to help others start up their leadership journey. I'm fairly new into the podcasting field, so I'm super excited, but also a bit nervous. I am thankful to my awesome guest for coming in and taking out her time on a weekend to do this with me. I am delighted to present to you my guest, Dr. Kristina Cain, who is currently working as a private dental practitioner at Queen and Albert Dental, and she has done her education at UQ and is currently a business owner. So her perspective on leadership will be unique, and that is why I have called her in today.
Thank you, Dhretii. Lovely to be here. Hello, everybody.
So, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, especially in this lovely day in Brisbane.
Yes. So, it's been a bit rainy out there, but...
It has. Hopefully Mother's Day will be okay.
Yeah. Have you got any plans?
Oh, not at this stage. It'll just be a nice quiet one, I think. My two children are 19 and 21 now. So, yeah, we don't have so much of that intimate family group, but they'll contact me, I'm sure, and yeah.
Now, I've shared what I'm excited about, but what are you excited about today?
I'm excited to be here because I want to thank you very much for inviting me to be on your podcast. I think you are an inspiration to so many other younger women who are coming through, and to share your voice and to share other people's voices. So I am very excited to be here and to be part of that. It just brings me joy to be able to lift others up and, share what I know, empowering.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, up to our first question, finally.
Fire away.
So, can you explain your leadership journey in your own words? How did you get to where you are now?
So I have owned a business now for 13 years. And I am a dentist by trade. I've been a dentist for nearly 30 years, and that's not including 5 years at university. So I've seen a lot in my time. So where I'm at the moment, I have had a lot of an exponential growth, if that makes sense, in leadership.
Yeah.
I also am involved with a wonderful pageant group, which is also about empowering women and teaching them the tools of the trade, I guess, when it comes to leadership and educating others. So this is where I'm at. I feel like I've been on my own journey. I've got my own team in the dental field. Obviously, I look after patients. That's my primary role, and empower them by helping their teeth and their facial appearance and their health. But then I also love speaking and empowering younger women, especially in leadership.
Can you tell me why you decided to become a business leader?
It's an interesting one, because as a woman and having children, I found that I was following my husband around on his career journey. Fortunately, as a dentist, I could work pretty much anywhere. And then we had some crossroad moments. I always call them defining moments. 2011, where we realised we couldn't really necessarily count on his career and the company he was working for at the time. It was a time for me to be able to actually put my roots into the ground, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So my children had both started school. They were stable. We didn't want to move them around, and I thought, right, I'll find a practice now. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I believe in myself. It's time. So that was 2011, bought a dental practice.
Wow, that's really impressive. And that's actually must be like a really big milestone in your life as well.
It very much was, Dhretii, and I have since bought another practice, and I merged them together and then took the merged practice to another level, another location, and did a whole new fit out. So I feel like I've moved a couple of 40-year-old practices, and I do actually know what it's like to be a business owner in the good and not so good.
Yeah, you've definitely gone through a lot in your career growth and career journey. So, can you tell me, why you mentioned, merging your businesses? So why did you do that?
I guess when you're in business, you always have to keep your eyes open for opportunities. It's important to know your own strengths and as I said, keep your eyes open. So for me, I saw that the practice I was in, my first practice, the lease was coming up to the end, and I wanted to grow. And I knew there was an older gentleman in the building who was selling his practice. He was actually a competitor. We had a very healthy competition. And so when his practice came on the market, it made sense for me to merge my business in with his, buy his practice out, and that way we had growth, immediate growth, and I could provide him with a good exit strategy, and I wasn't missing an opportunity. It wasn't just a whim. It was well thought out.
Yeah, it's kind of just maximizing your opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how that became. And then we didn't even it wasn't about me in the ego sense. It was very much about the growth of a business, which is like your baby, and looking after the team as well. So that very much became about keeping the patients happy and the growth of the business.
Yeah. So I'm having a mind blank right now.
Oh, that's fine. I do it all the time.
So I don't want to move on to my next question, so I'm just gonna. So you also do injectables. You mentioned in our conversation before. So can you tell me what that's like and how that played a part in your business?
Yes, absolutely. I was very excited about this. I got to an age where I was starting to look at my own sort of appearance a little bit, a few wrinkles here and there, and I just thought, oh, look, I might just try a little bit of facial injectable work just to make myself feel a bit better about myself. And it's not a vanity thing. It's very much about feeling good so you can also support and look after other people to, be the best version of yourself. Yeah. And I suddenly realised that I was perfectly capable of doing injections as well to help people with, their facial appearances and also with people who've got asymmetries or actual issues with their function of their faces. And I was one of the very first dentists in Australia to take on this course. And, I haven't looked back since because people need someone who cares, who knows anatomy, who doesn't just see it as a vanity thing, who actually sees the person underneath. So I began my journey, enjoyed all the science. Obviously, I'm a complete nerd. I'm a dentist, had university. I love science and I love aesthetics, love empowerment. And I just found it was lovely having people being so positive about receiving injections. And said, because at dentist you get quite a lot of negativity. People are quite fearful of going to the dentist. And it's lovely, at least with facial injectables, everyone says, yes, please help me, fix me. And they're not too scared of injections. Yeah. And I brought that into my practice as soon as I could, found there was an adequate market for it. Obviously, there are good, strict rules and regulations, which are very important for the safety of everybody. And after working many years, 12 or so years in that field, I've certainly found that as a niche, and now I'm referred to by my colleagues for treatments.
Did you how did you feel making kind of like a wave? Because you mentioned that it was quite controversial. So how did you feel making that controversial change? Did you feel scared, excited?
I loved it. I loved every minute of it because it was bringing about something good. It was bringing about change. It was standing up for what I believed in and knew was ethical and with solid training. And I loved changing the way people thought because obviously Botox, that's a brand name, by the way, of the actual really? Here's the science part.
Fun fact, guys.
The botulinum toxin A is what we're talking about as the actual therapeutic agent. So there's always been a bit of controversy, hasn't there, about Botox? Definitely. But it actually started out as a therapeutic product to help people who had cross eyes. So it relaxed the muscles that were causing this cross-eyed. And long story short, the ophthalmologist who was using it, her patients were coming back saying, oh, that's been great for my eyes, but I'm noticing you've missed a spot. So her husband was a dermatologist. These are the Caruthers in the US. Her husband said, well, maybe we could use the botulinum toxin as an improvement for cosmetics. So So he did a research paper to stop the frown. And, next thing you know, in the mid-80s is when it became known as a cosmetic procedure. But it actually started as therapeutic to help people in their function. So I feel that being at the forefront of dentists doing it in Australia has just been so rewarding, fulfilling, and now there are so many dentists who fulfill the need for that role.
This is kind of feeding into one of my later questions, but did you face any backlash being one of the first doing that?
Yes, look, there were always people who would sort of scoff at it. I felt the best way to handle that was to sort of say, well, do you want to talk a little bit about it? Are you interested in knowing why and how? And those who just didn't want to hear about it, I thought, well, that's fine. They're not on that path and that is their journey. But then I found a lot of people would start talking to me about it. It might be quietly, it might be in study clubs, things like that. And then I started being asked to present in study clubs to educate my colleagues.
Yeah.
So, I guess in answer to your question, obviously I did get a lot of pushback. I never got threatened as such. It was just human nature to question things. I think it's important to question.
This is great to kind of ignore that and just do your own thing, and then people can kind of catch on.
That's right, and you can educate them. But you do have to believe in yourself and your own convictions and be authentic about it.
That has been mentioned in one of my other podcasts as well. So it's a thinking point.
It's a big one, that one, just to be you and just to appreciate that others are them.
Now, on to my second question. Before 16, what life experiences shaped your perspective of leadership?
Well, I think we were talking earlier when I was chatting about braces with you, and I got hit by a hockey stick when I was 9. I broke my leg. I had a lot of those kinds of defining moments before I was 16. And I guess in that journey I learnt a lot about empathy from others and how, everyone embraces or appreciates being embraced by others who are there to support you and guide you through some of your journeys. And I guess in that, certainly when I had my own braces, I relied very much on the orthodontist to say, here's the start, here's our strategy, here's what the end result's going to be. So it's about keeping your eye on the prize. And I remember being at this orthodontist clinic in the CBD of Brisbane in a high-rise building. Yeah. I came from Hervey Bay all that way. My lovely parents brought me thinking this is the coolest thing ever. So not only was I inspired by the leadership and the developing of the vision, the strategy and where we're going to end up and the motivation, but also they inspired me on the same journey as them to have a dental practice in the high-rise CBD of Brisbane.
It's kind of like a motivation as such, one day I can be there.
Yes, exactly. So it might seem very basic when it talks about your teeth, but there's so much more you can attain if you keep your eyes open.
Yeah. And you mentioned that certain empathy. So do you think the traits that you've kind of adopted over time, do you think those helped you in your leadership journey?
Absolutely, 100%. I feel like every experience has been adding to the plot. In terms of the leadership journey, it's very much about having emotional intelligence, being empathetic with other people, understanding where they are coming from, what their journey is, and it's not just about you as the leader. Where you find your rewards is in the achievement of the group around you. So,
and do those kind of traits feed into your job, at the moment, and in life, just in general, when you're interacting with others?
100%. One of the key things I find as a dentist, so people are a bit nervous. Once they sit in my chair, I like to get them in a calm and rested and trusting position. So I'll always say, how are you? How is your day? I talk to the person. It's not just about achieving the result of the treatment. Relax your shoulders. Let's just chill. I'm right here. I'm listening to you. You are my focus. Yeah. So I believe that once you establish that trust, that bond, then you can get on with whatever the process is, whatever the treatment is, because their body is in a calm and relaxed state.
And it sort of builds like a little bit of trust between like a little bit of a relationship, even if that relationship won't evolve much. It's still like helps, I guess.
Yes, it's focusing on that moment and what the task you need to achieve. You're leading them through that journey. So, leadership is on so many levels.
Yeah. So, number 3, did you find anything challenging throughout your journey? How did you overcome these challenges?
One thing I found challenging as a female was, first of all, when I had children, I had a little bit of time off, of course, to be with my babies.
Yeah.
I kept my skills up, but I found when I came back into the workforce, there was a little bit of, she's been off and she's had children now. Will she be as skilled as her male counterparts?
Yeah.
I found that quite challenging and confronting, and I kind of went on a bit of a personal journey to prove to myself, because when you have those challenges, it does seed a few, I guess sows a few seeds is what I'm trying to say, of doubt in your mind. So you have to be able to overcome that in yourself before you even address it elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that was one. The second one was probably, I guess, a little bit on that chauvinistic topic as well. Women in that field, which was always male dominated. Now, how many male dominated fields have we got? I mean, I think the journey of equality has been amazing. I've been so privileged to be watching it and be a part of it. A lot of it is about how women believe in themselves, whatever limiting beliefs, about those. It's like we can be our own worst enemies and also not support our sisters.
Yeah.
It's about all boats will rise with the tide if you look after each other. So sisterhood has been a big thing to help me get past some of those challenges. And lastly, also about, I think there's a certain naivety you bring into business and leadership. Yeah. You think you know it all, but you don't. So it's really important to recognise when you actually need other people to help you and to
learn from others.
Correct.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, cut me off anytime. This is how we learn. It's just about going, okay, well, I don't know this. It's okay. So who can help me, and how will I educate myself so I can then function on a bit of a higher level as well as educate others?
Do you think it's been like kind of interesting and maybe a learning experience seeing how like women equality has evolved over time, and seeing like now that I guess like now it's not that, looked down upon, I guess. I would say I don't really know much about this, but I don't think it's that looked down upon now, whereas when you may have started out, I'm not trying to call you old. So
that's right, Dhretii.
No offense. But like, have you like seen it evolve, and like has it impacted the way that you feel about that as well? And like, do you feel better about yourself, I guess, that like, you've kind of gone through that, and now like most people are in a safe place where they can like do whatever they want with their lives?
Yes, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I guess my journey has given me a huge amount of perspective.
Yeah.
Huge. And I have seen amazing changes. When I went through dentistry, I think there was about a third of us were female. I felt it was it's hard, isn't it? You don't want to do a blanket statement, but let's just do it for ease, that it was a boys' club.
Yeah.
And as I said, that's a lot to do with just society. And, if we go back to primal things, it's about men always being the providers, and, there have been a lot of traditional roles. War, different recession times, things like that have all shaped us, haven't they? The generations before us, they say 7 generations before, have shaped us to be where we are. So I have really enjoyed the journey and pushing my way forward without ostracising my male friends and colleagues. I do still see a little bit of that chauvinistic attitude from the older generations to me, but they have tried so hard to open their minds as well, which you have to give everyone credit to.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge that.
Exactly. Yeah. I see my younger female counterparts coming through. We've had many discussions, and I have offered advice where I can to say, no, it's okay. You are allowed to be a queen here. Yeah. Own what your skills are. Own what you can do and what you bring.
Yeah.
And then I look at my daughter who's 19, who's in the aviation world now too, which again has always been a bit of a boys' club.
Yeah.
My husband's a pilot, so he will testify to that. But now the airlines have opened their minds, and it's amazing to see the evolution. It's actually very restoring of faith for me to see how humanity is growing and embracing more of the female culture, but not in a controversial way. Just saying this is it. We're all human. Actually, some people aren't defined by their gender. You know, it's wonderful to see the evolution.
There's more on the inside.
That's right. Yeah. And I see you coming through and what you're trying to achieve, and you're doing it naturally, and it's a purpose-filled thing that you're doing, and it's marvelous. So you are going to now be at the forefront of, I guess, establishing what the future is going to be. And yes, kudos to you.
Thank you. So back to the topic of challenges. Do you think it's challenging being a doctor and a facial injector?
The challenges are related to education. You have to keep yourself relevant and be at the forefront of what the latest techniques are, etc., and not get too caught up in the past. So education is always a big thing for me. So we have compulsory professional development. And, so that's something that's quite hard, and it can be expensive as well for doctors of all descriptions.
Yeah.
In terms of, and that goes for facial injecting as well, I think working on people is always going to be challenging, because I say even teeth are like little individuals. They all have their own set of rules, their own sensitivities, and you have to treat each one with TLC.
Yeah.
So as a doctor and as a dentist and facial injector, I think I've learnt now that it's very much about the person underneath and getting them, as I said earlier, to be in that place of trust.
Okay. So now on to our next question. So, sorry, just give me a sec. Right. Were there any challenges that you faced making the transition when becoming a business leader?
Yes, there were challenges, 100%. The first one, let's say 3 that come to mind straight away. Number 1 is not really knowing what you're doing. And I know a lot of other small business owners will understand this. You don't realize what you don't know.
Yeah.
At some point, at different points in your life. So the way I overcame that was obviously to educate myself, attend courses, business courses, train myself up. I knew I was smart enough to work it all out. It was a fun journey as well, just going, wow, I didn't know this world existed. Yeah. I had the basics. You know how you need to make a profit, and you know how you need to keep your customer base. So that was my first challenge, teaching myself how to be a business owner, as in run the practical. The second one was, I guess, so not so much the numbers, because I could teach myself that, but it was a bit about ego. Because my first practice, I was like, oh, look at what I've got. Look at this is actually, I have sad to admit now, but it felt like it was all about me. It was a personal achievement. Said, this is my practice. I'm going to do things the way I want to do it. But I learned very quickly that it's not like that. And I'm not that sort of person, but it's about inside. I'm just being really honest with you.
Yeah, of course.
It's an interesting journey. And I quickly learnt that it's about the team, not to expect credit from the team, and about
just do what you've got to do.
Do what you've got to do. And the business does come first, and your patients, obviously they come first above.
Yes.
That goes without saying. But if we're just talking business, and the third challenge is very much about balance. You know, I'm a mum, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm that. We all wear so many hats.
Yeah.
So to find that balance where I didn't implode was very much about putting on different hats at different times. So I'd literally go into work and say, right now I am the business owner, put that hat on. Then I go in and become the dentist. Right, take that hat off, put on, I'm the dentist hat.
Yeah.
You know, I've got that on. Take all of that off when I go home, put on my parent hat, look after my children.
Yeah.
And I found that helped a lot too.
Yeah.
And with the underlying thing all the time that you do need to look after yourself.
Yes, of course.
Yes. And
100%.
Taylor was even saying to me before about my younger daughter, how does she manage body and soul?
Yeah.
And that is a huge thing.
Yeah, very important. Okay, now, how do you think all of these events have shaped you as a leader?
I feel like all the events that have added to my plot have made me a well-rounded leader where I can see the bigger picture. I know how to make the boat go faster, even if those decisions are painful on some levels.
Yeah.
And I now feel very confident in sharing my journey with others like yourself and like your audience. And in the end, that's what it comes down to, is helping others.
Yeah.
I feel very proud of myself. I give myself a bit of a high five because you can talk to your younger version and say, oh, thank you for getting me through those really hard times, because we all have things we look back on and we cringe, right?
Yeah.
But if you actually visualize talking to that person who went through that, you say, my God, you're so strong.
Yeah.
You got me through that to be where I am now today. So that's how I like to look at my journey.
Okay, so in your industry, not many people proactively create a strong social presence, but you have achieved it so successfully. Can you tell me what motivated you to pursue this and how you emerged so successful?
Well, thank you. That's lovely to see your perspective on the Smile Chicks Instagram brand. And when I first developed that, it wasn't with an intention to make a business, really. I was out with some beautiful girlfriends and having a nice night out, and everyone was always talking about me and the smiling part and how I like to fix teeth. And Smile Chicks just developed. I came up with the name, and it seemed a bit unusual. I love a bit of an X and a Z here and there. Yeah. And suddenly I was getting a bit of attention from people in the industry. That was supposed to be just a private beginning. Yeah. And I thought, oh, well, that's great. And I just started sharing some of my own journey, some of the things that inspired me. I thought, oh, well, I'll share that and see if that helps someone else. And then I started getting feedback, and it literally became a snowball. I did go through a phase of doing numerous videos to help my younger colleagues, and it very much came from a place that I can't really pinpoint at the moment. It was what I was meant to do at that time. I felt it. And I started investing money in it as well to help and create these videos and messages. And then obviously COVID came along 5 years ago, and I made everybody sort of stop and take stock of where they're at. And I started sharing stuff about how to get through COVID, and mental health was a big thing, and doing various, I guess there was a lot of Zoom presentations and things like that too. It was so diverse the way you found that. You would have found that too. Everyone's found that.
I did homeschooling at the time, because we do Zoom calls or team calls, because we had school iPads, so my dad had to go pick that up from the school, and then we do morning check-ins, and then we'd get all our information on the school website on what to do for the day, and then we'd do afternoon check-ins and stuff.
Yes.
And I remember one time, so I was on a call, right, and I was in the car, and we were going to get a COVID test done, so we'd been waiting in line for so long, and then I was literally on the call, so then I had to like they were doing the COVID test at the same time, so I had to put myself on mute and everything, and it was really interesting experience. You know?
That you could be mobile and
Yeah.
having a serious health thing done, as well as trying to be in touch
class,
with you. And you didn't have the video on, obviously.
Yeah, no.
Because that would have been very interesting.
Yeah. No, they'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Exactly. Exactly. Aren't we lucky that we had the technology
Yeah.
to help us through such a difficult time? I mean, imagine if we didn't.
Because some other schools, like, they missed, like 2 months of school. So then some of my neighbours, so last year, they they got less holidays to catch up on that
I see,
at the end of the year.
Yep.
So they went in, like, mid-December.
Yep.
So I just kind of felt bad for them, and I was kind of, like, grateful that, you know, we had those resources available to, like, my school.
Yes. And isn't it amazing that the leaders in your school could put that all together?
Yeah.
They could go, right, we need to, well, what was the magic word at the time? We had to pivot.
Yeah.
Everybody used that word, but it's true.
Yeah.
So they came up with the idea, and there would have been a team that did that. Then they had to get the kids on board.
Yeah.
They had to make sure the tech was available, get the parents to pick up the
Yeah.
iPads. It's like the whole thing worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So very, very lucky. But did you have to go in uniform?
No.
Okay.
And then we had these, like, wacky things. Like, we do, like, on Fridays we'd tell a funny joke, and on Wednesdays we'd do Wacky Wednesday, so you'd, like, wear, like, a crazy headband.
Yep.
So those were, like, some really fun things that we were able to do.
That's good. And that's part of the motivation, isn't it? To keep the group engaged and to keep moving forward, to break it up, take away the seriousness. And, that's amazing. So that's a really great example of leadership, etc. Yeah.
So,
what were we talking about? I could see you and I could tangent all day.
yes. Okay. So, what did you find most enjoyable throughout your leadership journey? Why was that?
I enjoyed meeting like-minded people. I never knew there were so many out there. So from doing various leadership courses, I met some amazing, diverse people, cultures, everything, and it enriched my life. So that certainly I would say that's the number one thing I've gotten out of the leadership journey, next to having personal development and growth.
Yeah.
Meeting people, my tribe.
Yeah. Do you still have connection with most of those people? Like, do you still, like, talk and stuff?
Yes. Social media has been obviously very helpful, and we always comment and connect, and I wouldn't say we necessarily have to see each other every month or anything like that, but we connect. We can always reach out to the key person who might be able to help us with a challenging situation. It's amazing when you find a challenge, you go, okay, who can I reach out to? Your network is so important, and that person will come to mind, and no one has a problem in helping each other in that group with the right mindset.
Yeah. So why were you motivated to be a leader or a role model to others?
I think buying a business is a huge motivator, because you have to drive the ship. And no one takes your business as seriously as you do.
Yeah.
That was another big lesson.
Yeah.
You can't get offended because other people aren't taking it as seriously as you. You have to appreciate that this is your baby. So that was huge motivation, just because I had to, for the sake of money. You know, we have to keep things turning, you have to pay wages. So you kind of get forced into stepping up as a leader.
Yeah.
But also when you start to realise that you can lead, and you don't know until you give it a try. You have to give everything a try, and then work out where your deficiencies are and how you can improve them. And so I guess that personal growth is also a huge motivation, and just to know I can do it and help others.
A quote has just popped into mind. It's can't remember the exact words, and I don't remember who said it, but it was something like, great things are achieved from going out of your comfort zone, or something like that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think if you can just be brave and just step off the cliff, metaphorically, and just believe in yourself, and know that there will always be people around to catch you, to help you, and not to sort of be disillusioned or immediately say, look, you can stay in the someday aisle forever. You know, someday I'll do this, someday I'll give that a go. But there comes a point in time you just got to do it and action it. Yeah.
What kind of leader would you classify yourself?
Well, that's an interesting one. I'd love to know what the categories of leaders are. I guess for me, I like to think of myself as a leader of humanity, where I appreciate everybody for their individual traits and their humanness.
Recognize those individual traits as well?
Yes. Each person contributes something on some level, you know, and so I like to think of myself as an empathetic leader who will also stand up when things aren't going in the right direction to get everybody back on track, who looks at getting the right things done. There's a classic saying that managers, with all due respect to managers, because managing is very hard, managers tend to do things right. That is their role, but leaders will always do the right things.
Yeah.
So they might seem a little bit ambiguous or a little bit out there, but as a leader, you have to look at the big picture and what needs to get done at this point in time whilst being human.
Yeah. Okay, now we're up to our last question. I can't believe that whole thing whizzed by.
I know.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's going to be one of my long ones.
Oh, good. Well, I hope it's valuable. I feel like,
So what are the most valuable leadership traits in your view?
Resilience. You have to learn to be able to take a few knocks. Picture yourself like you're wearing a suit of armour and just take a few chinks. That's okay because you keep moving forward. It's important to have that resilience.
Yeah.
Empathy, to, as I said, understand where other people are coming from, and no one is a robot.
Yeah.
And you have to be strong in that empathy as well, to sort of go, okay, and what are you have to get people to help themselves. You really can't be responsible.
And you also need to understand what they might be going through.
Exactly.
Why they might be acting the way they aren't acting.
And to make them accountable for that as well, to sort of say, yes, I understand. So how are you going to improve? How are you going to move forward? Because we do have to look at a bigger picture here. So lastly, I guess just being excited. You know, as a leader, to be excited about what can be created, what can be achieved, because it gives you a bit of that why you're doing things. Why do you want to do this? You know, focusing on that and being excited about it. And with those in mind, I remind myself constantly, because it is a challenging journey. And sometimes you might not be quite as happy one day as you will be the next. But if you can really harness and remind yourself why you're doing it, and know there are people around you, and just keep moving in the right direction.
So now we're up to wrapping this up. So great to have you here. I just wanted one quote or key takeaway for our viewers.
Well, I guess the one we were talking about how well you were prepared for today. It really is important, and it gives your guests a sense of security and establishes trust that you know what you're doing as well. So I feel that wonderful phrase, which is failing to prepare is like preparing to fail. So the preparation is huge. It's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And it's brutal, but geez, it helps. It motivates you. So thank you for all your preparation today, because it made it so easy for me as well. And I've really enjoyed speaking with you, Dhretii.
Thank you so much for coming in once again. And thank you everyone for watching this. I hope you found this lesson very valuable. So now if you are a leader willing to feature on my podcast, it would be much appreciated if you could contact me through LinkedIn or Instagram, or my email, which will be pasted below. Thank you so, so much once again.
My pleasure, Dhretii.
Enjoyed you. Really enjoyed having you here. So, thank you, everybody.